We are anonymous. No faces. No flags. No permission slips. What happens when Donald Trump's most loyal officials are stripped of their right-wing scripts and forced to testify under oath? Sit down and pay attention, because all hell just broke loose during recent congressional hearings. Donald Trump's MAGA witnesses didn't just stumble under oath. They completely and utterly collapsed during cross-examination. Let us set the scene at the House Subcommittee on Homeland Security Appropriations. Donald Trump's cabinet member, Department of Homeland Security Secretary Markwayne Mullin, sat in the hot seat and absolutely lost his mind. He was so completely unhinged that even the Republican chair of the subcommittee, Congressman Mark Amodei, I had to step in like a frustrated parent dealing with a petulant toddler. Amodei literally had to tell Mullin to chill out, warning him that he was going to shut the damn hearing down because Mullin was behaving so immaturely and in a manner entirely unbecoming of the legislative branch. The chaos erupted when Congresswoman Rosa DeLauro began her cross-examination.
And you should be as upset about the 450,000 kids that were lost. You didn't say a word about it. For 4 years, you never said a word.
Mr. Secretary.
Could you put him in his place for
don't yell at me.
You should be
I'm
put in
good
your
one.
place.
Mr. Secretary, if you would like 4 minutes for a closing statement when everybody's done, I'll give you that. But while members are on their 8 minutes, I need them to have their 8 minutes.
I started my
I
comments.
appreciate that. My issue is that they say this for sound bites, and I'm not going to let them say
What
something
did
like
you
that.
do
That's not
just
true.
recently for sound bites? I sympathize with the 400.
We are going to have something.
Finally, Amodei had to lay down the law stating flatly.
If this format won't work, then we'll reschedule the meeting for later when we can keep it to all the issues accordingly. So this is the efficient way to do it. But if we can't do it the efficient way, then we'll go to plan B, which will not be today. And I don't mean that as a threat to anybody. I'm just saying this is not Meet the Press or Fox News or whatever for anybody involved. It's what's the question?
When Congresswoman DeLauro finally got her time, she brought the hammer down. She recounted a heartbreaking conversation she had years ago with former Secretary Alex Azar regarding Buy Kia, a system to reunite the children separated at the border with their families. She powerfully compared it to getting a tag at the dry cleaners. You should be able to get back what you handed over. She pointed out the brutal truth. 3,900 children were ripped away and separated from their families. Instead of showing an ounce of human empathy, Mullin aggressively deflected.
Then go back and you retrieve your clothes. When you had luggage, you go and get your luggage is returned. Well,
I wish the Biden administration would have done that.
Let me just say this to you, sir. Again, it is my time. 3,900 children were separated from their families.
450,000 kids were lost during the Biden administration. You didn't say a word
Mr.
about it.
Secretary, do not interrupt.
Don't you point your finger at me. Don't
I
be a
will
hypocrite.
point my finger
Don't you
at
be a hypocrite
you.
then. You be as
3,900
you should be
kids.
as upset about the 450,000
I am
kids that were lost.
upset.
You didn't say a word about it. For 4 years, you never said a word.
Mr. Secretary.
Could you put him in his place for
Don't yell at
You
me.
should
I'm
be
the
put in
good
your
one.
place.
Next up was Congresswoman Lauren Underwood, who cross-examined Secretary Mullin on a deeply grim subject: detainees who have died while in DHS and ICE custody. Since Donald Trump returned to office, the DHS immigration detention system has been plagued by horrific medical neglect, physical abuse, severe overcrowding, and a historically high death rate. Underwood brought receipts. She described visiting the Miami Correctional Facility in Bunker Hill, Indiana with her own 2 eyes. She met with individuals who told her it took months just to receive basic medication refills for life-threatening illnesses like diabetes. Detainees were left unattended with festering infected boils. Tragically, but unsurprisingly, a detainee at that very facility died shortly after her visit, contributing to the fact that more detainees died in ICE custody in 2025 than ever before. When Underwood asked Mullin if DHS had any specific internal goals or policies to reduce these deaths in custody, Mullin's response was chillingly callous. He dismissed her entirely, claiming her numbers were inaccurate. He cited a microscopic percentage, claiming they had a death rate of 0.009%, with 54 total deaths during the president's time.
Ma'am, your numbers just aren't accurate. We've had 0.009%.
Mr. Secretary,
You're asking about this. It's 0.009% of deaths. And we've had 54 total in the president's time. Those are dangerous accusations you're making.
Mr. Secretary.
Those are dangerous accusations that she's making. Because in the state of Illinois, they're twice as high to die in the state penitentiary of Illinois than they are in detention.
You are invited to this committee. This is my time.
And you need to be informed by what you're saying.
I am informed.
No, you're not, ma'am.
Mr. Secretary, does DHS have any?
Do you realize that we have one doctor per 1,000 for detention centers for our federal detention centers in the state of Illinois? They have one per 1,800. But yet she wants to focus on our detention centers.
You'll get your time.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
The horror stories didn't stop there. Congresswoman Veronica Escobar stepped up to the microphone to tell Mullen exactly what his policies look like on the ground. She detailed her visit to Camp East, Montana, where the same negligent medical contractor is still operating. Escobar spoke with dozens of detainees, but one glaring example stood out. A man who had been arrested in Minneapolis had a severely broken arm. He had been complaining for weeks. When he took off his brace, Escobar said the bone was literally shaped like the letter S. The break was that severe and visible to the naked eye. And what medical treatment did this human being receive under the Trump administration's custody? Just a tiny little bit of aspirin. Mullen was falling apart. He looked like he was on the verge of tears. The meltdown continued when Congresswoman DeLauro cornered him on disaster relief.
With FEMA. Simple question. And I want to start where I left off with Secretary Noem last year. FEMA. Simple yes or no. Do you support eliminating FEMA? Do you support eliminating FEMA?
There's portions of FEMA that need to be back in state.
Do you support eliminating FEMA?
There's no yes or no question on that. There's portions that need to go back to the state.
Do you support eliminating FEMA?
The record will reflect the response. The record will reflect the response. Is there another question?
Yeah, because let me just say, in April of 2025, the Trump administration prematurely, I'm glad we got that answer, because the poor gentleman who came before, may have been with you, Mr. Chairman, that came before our committee, and I asked him this question, and he said, because Secretary Noem said, yes, she and the president wanted to eliminate FEMA. The gentleman said that he said it should be reformed. And the next day he was fired. Let it show that the secretary believes that we should shut FEMA down.
I never
April 2025,
said that.
The administration.
Chairman, I never said that.
The administration prematurely, unlawfully ended FEMA's BRIC program.
But perhaps the absolute most devastating takedown came during a separate committee hearing regarding China. Representative Ro Khanna delivered a masterclass in holding MAGA extremists accountable. He was cross-examining a MAGA Republican witness named Lucci. Lucci had previously tweeted a horrific proposal that Chinese Americans born in U.S. territories who subsequently moved back to China should be denaturalized. Khanna didn't mince words. He looked Lucci dead in the eye and said, "I find it fundamentally racist. I don't think I've used that word in 10 years in a committee. But the reality is that you're basically that if you're Chinese American and you're born under U.S. law in a territory, you should be denaturalized." Khanna pressed him, asking if this draconian stripping of citizenship applied to anyone born in a U.S. territory who goes to live in another country or just China. Lucci tried to backtrack, arguing that 1.5 million people of Chinese 22T70 descent are born in U.S. territories for just a week or two, then raised in China to be loyal to the Chinese Communist Party, calling it a clear security risk. He claimed this policy should be considered for any foreign adversary nations as nations as defined by the federal government. Khanna immediately exposed the terrifying slippery slope of this MAGA logic, asking if Lucci wanted to denaturalize Iranian Americans, Russian Americans, or Korean Americans. Cornered and desperate, Lucci deployed the most hollow, predictable defense in the book. He complained that he took direct offense to being called racist, declaring, "My household has 8 people in it. I have a Chinese wife and 4 Chinese children." Khanna was utterly unfazed. He coldly dismantled Lucci's shield, stating, "That's like saying I'm friends with someone who's black, but I'm still a racist. I don't think that excuses racism. I don't think they're going to see racism in that, sir." Khanna declared that when the American people hear about this plot to eliminate birthright, all citizenship for Chinese Americans, they will absolutely see it for the racism it is. This is the reality of Donald Trump's inner circle. They are extremists, they are unprepared, and when forced to testify under oath outside the safety of their right-wing echo chambers, they completely implode. We are anonymous. We do not forgive. We do not forget.